Today, my friends, we are going to use and abuse, slice and dice with the EGO 56-inch battery-powered cordless weed eater. We're going to go through the low stuff, we're going to go through the high stuff. You'll know everything you want to know about this weed trimmer by the end of this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, EGO does have a commercial style trimmer. This is not it. I would say this is the homeowner use. You get the 2.5 battery, you get the weed eater, and you'll get the charger in the kit. I'll put a link in the description below for you to check it out. But I want to let you know that it does have a variable speed trigger. No load speed from 4,000 up to 5,800 RPM. Without the battery, they state that it weighs just over 7 pounds. So with the battery, you're probably looking around 9 or 10. And you got the 15-inch cutting width. The line thickness that I'm using is 0.095. And it be beastly. Now, there is one fantastic, outstanding feature about this weed eater that you will see on none other but this. I'll show you that here in a bit, but let's start slicing and dicing on some of the low grass. Then we're going to go and put the GoPro up on this thing and start going through the heavy stuff. Now, a couple things that I want to say about the EGO. The first one we already sort of touched base on is that they are extremely light. The carbon fiber on this really allows to bring down the weight on this, but the other thing is they are super quiet. Compared to even the other battery power string trimmers that I've used, nothing comes close to how quiet these things are. Now, for the safety switch, they put it on the left-hand side where your thumb goes. If you're left-handed, well, that might be a little bit of an issue for you. That said, I like it a lot better than it being up on the top and on the bottom like some of the other string trimmers have. The one main and really only issue that I have with this entire string trimmer is that they don't have a speed setting on here. They don't have a slow and high, which I really like on the other string trimmers. They do have a great variable speed trigger on this, but it would have been nice to see the low and the high speed button. The handle can be adjusted, very comfortable. They use a foam almost on top of this, and it just feels great. You don't feel any vibration when you're using the string trimmer, so that's a big plus. You also got a guard, nice size. It's shaped a little bit different, so it really allows you to take that weeds that you just cut down and throw them out the back, and you're not getting smacked in the ankles. And you also got the bump feed, so as soon as you bump it down on the ground, it just puts more string out for you. You don't have to worry about it. It works excellent. Now, the carbon fiber shaft does one of two things. One, it brings down the weight of the string trimmer, and the other, it adds a lot of strength. Just remember though, the weakest part of the string trimmer is right there in the middle where the two poles connect. Now, let me put it this way. If you only had the carbon fiber pole like this right here and you spanned it out on 2 blocks and you jumped up and down on it, it would not break. But if you did that with the entire string trimmer, the weak spot is that middle part, so don't do that. Long story short, if you use it how it's supposed to be used, it will last you forever. Again, I love the grip on this. Now, I am 6 foot tall, and it's super comfortable for me. You can adjust this again. Now, this string trimmer, the length of it, you're looking around 72 inches. So if you're smaller or if you're taller, it doesn't really matter. Again, you can adjust that to make it comfortable for you. The battery placement, super easy to put in the back. It's balanced very well. And what I like about the EGOs, everything that I've used from them, the batteries come out very easy. You just push down that little button and they pop right out. Now, before we start all that slicing and the dicing, let's talk about the one thing that sets this trimmer apart from everyone else on the market. All right, my dudes, now this is the one thing that just blows my mind every time I see it and use it. The one thing about trimmers that I can't stand is changing the string. Let me remind you, I hate it. I really do, but this here changes the game. All right, let me show you how this thing works. See that little button right there? Well, it's like magic. The first thing I'm going to do is take my string out. I'm going to replicate, basically running out of string. You can see that the inside doesn't come out like a lot of other string trimmers, and there's a reason for that. So don't try unscrewing anything or whatever. Just leave that cap on like that. You got your holes right here. Everything will line up automatically, so don't have to worry about flipping this or flopping that. Just take your string, feed it through the 2 holes, line them up, drag them out. I got about 2 to 3 feet worth of line, and then push les boutons. What? Was that for real? Let's try that again. It's like a dream. All these years, winding weed whacker line the hard way. This has to be fake, but my heart, I can feel it. Maybe it's an alternate universe where nothing makes sense. It just can't be reality. Are those fish? Yep, I think they're fish. Trout maybe. Everything in my life has now changed. I now know what love feels like. Cool? Easiest line change I've ever done in my life. Let's slice and dice. Now we're just taking down some lower stuff. Again, you got that variable speed trigger. It works very well. So if you don't need to be cranked, don't squeeze that trigger all the way in. Just let it do its thing. So we have some higher stuff here, and let's see what we can do. Now again, if you want to go a little slower, just release that trigger a little bit. Now, even if you have some higher grass or weeds or around the house or whatever, this will do it no issue. But what about that really thick stuff? Maybe you got, you know, a neighbor that has a field right next to you and he never cuts it and just it's a mess all the time. What would you do then? Well, then you would bring out the GoPro and do it yourself. So right now we're up on the side of the hill, and don't worry, we're going to get into some nasty. But even the higher stuff, the weed, the nasty, you can take them down no problem at all. You got a really nice reach on this weed eater. But let's go into the nasty, you know, the a-hole neighbor yard. Will it be able to slice and dice like I want it to? Well, yeah, it just takes it and destroys it. Now, this weed eater seems to be hungry and angry. So that makes it hangry. And it's just eating it up. Again, super light, super easy to swing that thing back and forth. Anybody could use this just because of how light it is. But notice again, you only have that low hum. You don't have that 2-cycle engine screaming in the background. It is super, super quiet. And the other nice thing about this, doesn't matter what time of year it is. You know, you pull this thing out in the beginning of spring after it's been sitting all year, and it just starts right up as soon as you pull that trigger. Now again, another nice thing about that guard, I ain't getting that scrap thrown back at me. You can see the camera on there, it's just sort of being directed. Ain't getting hit in the foots with anything. There is one other thing that I can notice when I'm operating this though, is that maybe a fraction of a second of a delay when you pull that trigger to get it started. Usually when you pull the trigger on a lot of the other weed eaters, it just goes, but it's almost like a soft start. Not much, but it is there. I just want to throw that out. Now with the battery that you get the 2.5, but they also have a 5.0, they got a 7.5. With the 2.5, you're probably looking at around, I don't know, 40 minutes. It's just an estimate. It really depends on what you're doing. There's so many different variables, how high your weeds are, how many there are, and blah, 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 blah. But you're going to get a half decent amount of runtime even with the 2.5. You put a 5.0 or a 7.5, you'll run this thing all day long. Now let me just show you what we've done. You know, this thing here, it is just crushing those freaking weeds. And it does such a good job. It is so powerful. I do wish they had the speed adjustment on this. I'm not gonna lie, I wish they had the high and the low, you know, the turtle and the rabbit. But you do have that variable speed trigger, so that does allow you to have control with how fast you are going. That said, it will blast through just about anything. I love the straight shaft on it. It allows you to get into really low areas or areas that you have trouble reaching, especially now that this is 72 inches long. Just a fantastic weed eater. I mean, it just goes with everything else that we have used with the EGO line, and they are just phenomenal. Just a great job on that. That automatic string feed is just great. It is the easiest that I've ever used. I mean, you literally don't have to touch anything but a button. Just feed that string through, and that is it. This thing is great. Very heavy duty build. Brushless, of course. You got the 5-year warranty. You can also hang this thing up with a nail if you want. It got that slot in the back, so that's nice. And you can do that because it is so light. Definitely check this thing out if you got a chance. It got over 3,000 reviews on the Home Depot site, and it's sitting now at a 5-star. So just very well done by EGO. If you like this video, please smash that like button, get subscribed, and hit that bell notification. I want to know what you think. Have you tried this yet? Are you thinking about trying it? What do you like about it? What would you change about it? Leave me a comment in the comment section below. I love hearing your feedback. With that, I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll be back with more videos soon.